You're listening to The Humans We Are with Carola, episode number 36. Hello, my friends. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing today, I hope you are having an amazing day. And if you're not, I just want to remind you that you are loved and you are appreciated. Welcome back. If you're already a listener of the show, I am so glad you're here for another episode of The Humans We Are. And if you're new to the show, I want to welcome you. I want to let you know that you are in the right place. If you are looking to find a way to create a different kind of relationship with yourself, with your body, with your future, with your past, with how you have been in the world, and if there's anything that you would like to change in that relationship with yourself, my aim here, my goal is to support you with that. And the way that I am trying to help you accomplish that is with three main components: support, tools, and information to help you understand yourself better and create that change that you want to see in your life. And if you want to find out more about how I can help you, you can go to my website, carolafuertes.com, or you can find me on Instagram, where I am at FortesCarola. Today's episode came to me in the shower, as many of humanity's best ideas do, right? I was thinking of those of you who are really struggling right now, who feel like you're at the end of your rope, who know that something needs to change because you can't keep living like this. This is not what you signed up for. You got the career and the family and the success. At least by all external measures, you are amazingly successful, and yet you can't enjoy it. You feel like you are barely making it through the day and then the week. And those of you who feel super drained, and because you're constantly working, then when you are not working and then you are taking care of your family, but then you feel so guilty because you feel like you're not giving them enough attention. And you know you need to take care of yourself and you need to do a better job at that, but there's just not enough time. There's not enough of you left at the end of the day to be able to do that, to be able to take care of yourself. And then you start over the next day and it's just the same. It's like the Groundhog Day, and you feel like you never replenish your energy enough. And you keep telling yourself that you will get better after some imaginary deadline or after some milestone happens, but it just doesn't. And I was thinking what you need the most right now, what you need to hear. Because, something needs to change, but you're not sure what. You don't know where to start. And maybe anything you think of feels either out of reach, or maybe you've tried it before and it hasn't worked. So if you're in that situation, there's three things that I want you to know. Number one is that if you can dream of a different situation for yourself, if you can see it in your mind's eye, then you can create it. You can have that be true in your life. And I've coached hundreds of women, and I've seen that over and over, that as long as you keep listening to that part of you that knows there's a different way, there's a different way to experience your life, and you keep believing that A, it's possible for you, and B, you deserve it, you will get there. You will get there. It's only a matter of time. Now, some of you may hear this and be like, well, I don't know if it's possible for me. Maybe it's possible for other women in my situation, but I'm not sure it's possible for me. And if that's you, I want you to bring one hand to your heart and take one deep breath through the nose and exhale at least twice as long through your mouth. If you're driving, maybe you want to do this later when it's safe. But if you are safe right now, we'll do this together. Now turn your attention inward and see if you can find even the smallest seed of belief that it might be possible for you. If you pay close attention, you will find it, even if it's really tiny. And that's all we need, the smallest seed of hope and possibility. If you nurture it with love and patience, will sprout and grow. Or maybe you go back and forth between feeling you deserve it and feeling that you don't. And if that's you, that's great news. It might sound weird that I say that, but because you go back and forth, you need to have that belief that you deserve it to go back and forth to and from. And that's all we need to work from. And FYI, it's very normal to have that where you go back and forth between believing that you're worth it and believing that you don't deserve it. It's completely human. And honestly, it's not even a problem. It's not an obstacle if you learn how to deal with it. Second thing that I want you to know, this is a lifelong journey, and you have to be committed to being in charge of your life experience for the rest of your life. Life is always changing, and humans are constantly changing and evolving too. So you never really, quote unquote, arrive to where you're finished, a finished product, and that you're happy ever after. It may sound like a bummer, but honestly, I think it's what makes this human life such an amazing adventure. And number 3, changing is hard. It doesn't feel great at the beginning, and I wish we were all more open about this, because I'm sure this is one of the reasons more people don't embark on this journey, or they quit too early. And here I found humans tend to be in one of 2 camps. So one camp is those who expect to learn some tools and then you feel better really quickly. You get relief soon. And while that can happen, and certainly we want to equip you with a toolbox that helps you feel better in those moments when you feel you can't take it anymore, and we want that relief to be rather quick. But the truth is that in the long run, for healing to be consistent and permanent, this journey will feel uncomfortable a lot of the time. And the other camp that I see people tend to be in is those of you who have tried some changes before, who have tried to create better boundaries, who may have changed jobs to feel better. And no matter what you've tried, you keep ending up in the same place over and over again. So now you may think that this journey of healing your relationship with yourself, so you can have better boundaries and feel safe and confident and truly enjoy your life, is out of reach for you. It's too hard, and it may not be available for you. And maybe you think that you have been this way for so long that change is going to be just too hard. And I wonder if you arrived to that conclusion because you didn't expect this journey to be hard. So I won't sugarcoat it. It is going to be really hard. It's going to be messy. It's going to be freaking uncomfortable. And you can do it. If you've proven one thing in your life, is that you can have a great capacity to be in discomfort, don't you? Because not making the changes you want, it's keeping you in a very uncomfortable position. It's not a walk in the park either. Not making changes is keeping you in the current discomfort, whatever that is for you. Too much stress and anxiety around work, not being as present as you want to be as a mom and wife, putting up with a toxic environment at work, not taking good care of yourself, not knowing what you even like anymore because you're either working or parenting. You may be having physical symptoms from all the stress and the lack of self-care. I mean, it's not comfortable or easy. if you really think about it, if you're really honest with yourself. And it's just that it's a familiar discomfort, and that makes it seem easier to bear. And you probably have also some numbing mechanisms that are not free of unwanted consequences, but they make it, this current discomfort, they make it more bearable. Like, for example, you may use TV or social media to numb out, and then you are not sleeping enough as a consequence of that. If you use food and or alcohol to numb, you may have unwanted weight gain and even some medical consequences to your health. If you're using overworking to numb, then you're only digging yourself deeper in the discomfort that you're in and the loss of your own identity. If you're overspending to numb, you may be drowning yourself in clutter and maybe in debt. Numbing your discomfort doesn't make the issues go away. It just perpetuates them because you're not present enough to change them. Bottom line, if you avoid the discomfort of making changes, you are choosing unknowingly the current discomfort. So what I want you to see is that discomfort is unavoidable. You have to choose between a familiar discomfort that you already know how it feels and quote unquote know how to do, or an unfamiliar one that you may not know yet and have to learn how to quote unquote do. Between one that you know how to endure and one that at a subconscious level you fear that it could be too much to bear. And most importantly, and this is the main distinction that I want you to take away from this episode, is that you're choosing between a productive discomfort and an unproductive discomfort. And that is the choice that you have in front of you. So productive discomfort is the one that on the other side of it, you get what you want. It's like a form of payment, if you will, for something that you want and that you value. It's usually more intense, but the intensity is high over a shorter period of time. Unproductive discomfort, on the other hand, is a lower grade hum of background discomfort, if you will, and it comes from putting up with an unwanted situation. For example, let's say that there's someone at work that always interrupts you at meetings, and it's really annoying and it's really uncomfortable. But you know how to deal with that discomfort because it's been happening for a while and you already learned how to manage that discomfort. And maybe you even had a previous training at home if your opinion was never valued or heard. So even if it bothers you when they keep interrupting you, saying something about it feels way more uncomfortable. In that scenario, there's no comfortable option. You either have the constant hum of familiar discomfort of not saying anything and let them keep interrupting you, or the acute unfamiliar discomfort of saying something, but you're going to be uncomfortable either way. Now, one of those gets you closer to what you really want, which is being heard and not being interrupted. Another example is starting to exercise when you haven't been physically active in a long time. You can have that acute discomfort of starting an exercise routine, or the lower grade but constant discomfort of feeling weak and out of shape. One of those gets you closer to what you actually want, where the other doesn't. So, of course, there are nuances and unique personal situations that make changing your life situations so that you can feel better and enjoy your life more challenging. And we are not denying that. If that's the case for you and you would like my help to figure out how to get to the point where you're able to choose the unfamiliar and productive discomfort, I would be happy to support you. If you want to find out more about how I can do that, I recommend that you book a free consult, which you can do so by going to carolafuertes.com/consult. You can also find out more about what I do and what I stand for on my Instagram, which you can find under @FuertesCarola. And I suggest that you go to my bio there to learn more. If you want to support this show, honest reviews, wherever you're listening to right now, is the best way to do so. And I will be forever grateful, and I will also shout you out in a future episode. If you do, please send me a screenshot, because I don't get notifications when I get a new rating and review. If you have any comments, any suggestions for topics to cover, or feedback of any kind that you would like me to hear, you can email me at carola@carolafuertes.com, or you can DM me on Instagram @FuertesCarola. I love the interaction. Podcasting is very, very lonely sometimes, more often than not. So whenever I hear from one of you, it's so nice. Okay, I'll most likely be back next week. And in the meantime, just be honest with yourself and maybe choose one area where you are unintentionally choosing the familiar discomfort over the productive and unfamiliar one, and see what it would be like to choose otherwise. That's all for now, my friends. Bye bye.